Hey guys, welcome back to Burst Review, and today we're taking a closer look at the FireField Impulse Compact Reflex Sight. Now, if you saw my MP5 review or the review of the PTR 9CT, you no doubt saw this little optic on top of that pseudo subgun for several hundred rounds. But what is it? Well, it's a budget-priced compact reflex sight that employs a holographic-style reticle and a built-in laser aiming module. Now, virtually all military-grade optics that feature a built-in LAM or laser aiming module are big bucks. So it makes sense that FireField would try to offer a more affordable or budget-priced option for shooters who don't want to spend over $1,000 on a reflex sight with a laser on it. And despite its low price, FireField actually claims that the little reflex sight can withstand up to 50 BMG and 12 gauge recoil. Though on the same exact website and same exact web page, it also claims that it can only withstand up to 308 Winchester. But more on that in a second. What I do know is in the 500 or so rounds that I fired through the PTR 9CT with the FireField attached, it held zero fine and functioned fine and never had any issues. But this is hardly a test. 9mm doesn't have much recoil to begin with, and the fact that the PTR 9CT is roller delayed further dampens that recoil. Plus, like all budget-priced optics, buyers need to take any claims of performance and resistance with a grain of salt, aka caveat emptor, buyer beware. Because while it may look great out of the box and even function fine for the first 100 rounds or so, what really matters is how does it hold up to long-term use and abuse. So we'll put this little FireField on something a little harder kicking than this X95 and 5.56 and find out if it can really hold up to the recoil that FireField says it can, and if the little optic is really worth the money. The FireField Impulse Compact Red Dot runs on a single AAA battery, providing 14.5 hours of runtime with both the laser and the red dot running simultaneously. The reticle appears to be based off an EOTech XPS3 reticle and has 5 settings of brightness as well as a green and red setting. The optic itself has a 22mm aperture and features 120 MOAs of adjustment for both windage and elevation. Also, the Impulse ships with a Picatinny screw mount, but can also utilize AimPoint T1 mounts as well. While the website doesn't give exact specifications, like I said before, the reticle appears to be based off the XPS3 reticle, meaning a 68 MOA ring and a 1 MOA dot in the center. It's effectively a compact mini EOTech without the durability and without the price. Now with that out of the way, let's discuss the testing procedure. First, I mounted the Impulse on my IWI X95 and 5.56 and confirmed the zero on a roughly 6-inch steel target at 75 yards. Then I mounted it to my Savage 110 Tactical in 308, equipped with a Saker 7.62 suppressor from Silencer Shop, and fired a few rounds of 168 grain full metal jacket. Afterwards, I remounted the sight on the X95 and checked if the 308's recoil shifted the Impulse's zero. At this point, the Impulse showed no signs of a wandering zero, nor any functional issues. So I mounted it on a WBP Fox Polish AKM chambered in 7.62x39. Using an RS Regulate AK301 lower mount with an AimPoint T1 upper rail, the Impulse was then re-zeroed for this AKM. Once properly zeroed, I then fired a full magazine through the rifle to confirm this zero. Once confirmed, I used the same RS Regulate 301 mount and switched from the Polish AK to a Chinese Sega 12 shotgun clone from SDS Imports. Once properly mounted, I proceeded to fire a single 5-round magazine full of 1-ounce slugs from Winchester and 2 5-round magazines of Hornady double-aught buck critical defense, all with the gas setting set to wide open. This was done in lieu of a 50 BMG test, not because it's a close approximation, but because I don't have a 50 BMG on hand, nor any of its expensive ammunition. While not truly comparable, the added recoil of the accelerated bolt carrier group should put the inexpensive optic to the test and really rattle its bones. Afterwards, I remounted the Impulse on the Polish AK to check for retention of zero and to see if it still functioned properly. The result? It was the same again. It functioned fine and held zero perfectly. While hardly an exhaustive test, at least the FireField passed with flying colors, and it seems pretty certain that it can handle 12 gauge recoil with no problem. Since most optics that I've ever tested with a 12 gauge that failed as a result of that recoil did so in the first 2 or 3 rounds. It was quickly apparent that those optics were not designed to take that amount of recoil. And while the optic held zero with no issues whatsoever and functioned fine, there are other less praiseworthy aspects I need to address. For example, even while on the brightest setting, the red reticle is not bright enough to be seen in broad daylight. Though in all fairness, when set to the green setting, by holding the power button on the up position for I think 2 or 3 seconds, the green setting was absolutely visible, even in bright sunlight. Additionally, even in the middle of the afternoon and when it was overcast, the laser sight was hardly visible past 10 yards, making it ill-suited to outdoor use. That said, if a shooter intends to employ the FireField on a home defense weapon, the little laser aiming module will be perfectly visible within the confines of a house. But if not, shooters would be better off getting the Model 1 down from it that does not include the LAM unit and save themselves about 20 bucks. Overall, I think the FireField makes a great moderate use or range optic, though I'm not sure if it's quite there for me to totally trust for something like hard use, law enforcement, military use, or for that matter, survival use. Though thus far it has been very reliable and its use of common, inexpensive AAA batteries does make it very appealing. Now, if you guys want to see me put this thing to the ultimate test and really mess it up in the future, drop me a line below and tell me what you guys want to see me do to this thing to really put it through the ringer. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that new, it's over here, notification button for more burst reviews. Thanks, guys.